Okay, we should be live. Should be live. So, this evening, we're going to keep it light, no heavy talk. We're going to keep it focused on G.I. Joe. And I believe we will be reading a Find Your Fate book. Been a little while since we've done this, so let's see how we do. So it looks like we've got a good, strong live stream. Looks to be working. All right, cool. And YouTube says we are live. Last week's live stream, we had to cover some heavy topics, but it had to be done. Had to be got out of the way. But today we are focused on G.I. Joe, and it's going to be awesome. And we don't have anyone in the live chat yet, so if we don't get anybody, then I may just read the Find Your Fate book myself. Hello, Sparkster. Nice to see you. First person to comment. Hi, Action Figure Expert. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hi, Beta Ray Bob and Jedi. Nice to see you. Spokane is here. Hello, Spokane from the United States. Thank you for joining. Jaguar Sharkman, how do you do? Hey, Beach 76. For those who just arrived and those who are just arriving, I'm going to do another Find Your Fate book. It's been a while since we've done one. I thought that would be fun. Okay, let's try to do that right. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right, well, that's cool in the gang. Hey, Brandon Knight. Hi, Peter Eng. Hello, Leah. Excuse me. Pressing issues playing with kittens. Well, sometimes you can't break away from that. You know, sometimes you just get caught up and you got to finish. Hello, Matt. Yeah, we're going to do story time. Hello, JK Siege. EVGMZ. Doing well. Yeah, we should have story time. I'll save this for the last half of the live stream. We'll still do a regular hour, but we will, the bottom half of that hour, we will do a Find Your Fate book and see if we die again. We've been dying a lot. Hello, Lazarus, Trek Reviewer, Gemini. Nice to see you. Johan as well. Chris Mc83, how do you do? Mike Layton, good evening. Jedi scored some new Transformers. That is cool. Hello, Tommy. So yeah, this one's got Shipwreck and the Shark with Deep Six. Deep Six is in it. Operation Thunderbolt by Casey Edwards. So we will see. We haven't done too well in this in these Find Your Fate books. Our fate has usually led to our deaths, so we'll try to do better. Hello, the Major Payne. Oh yeah, I got Baroness Sketch and Co-Book. Okay, great, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Bought a frame for it. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you liked it, and I'm glad that it arrived to you safely. That's cool. And for anyone who doesn't know what Major Payne is referring to is on Patreon at certain levels, I will do a sketch for you and send you a secret code book. So you see the secret codes, the numbers that come up in videos. Well, those are special secret messages that you can decode. Hello, Rob M. Mark Hoke, nice to see you. James Corman Jr., even though I can't say it, hello, good evening. Great, I'm really glad you liked it, The Major Payne. Hello, Carl Beatty. Mezzed up one. Hey, the gang's all here. We got a bunch of the usual suspects this evening. Zach Van 75, and there's hey, our moderators just showed up, both of them at the same time. We got Byron, we got Green Yeti, and apparently something awesome happened with Green Yeti today. So awesome that an awesome thing happened. But now everybody got to be on your best behavior because the moderators are here. I hope I don't get in trouble. I'll try to behave myself. And Green Yeti met a penguin today. That is really awesome. I assume you're talking about the Batman villain, and I'm glad that you survived, because the penguin can be quite villainous. Hello, Jay Woodley. Anyone notice the lack of backpack racks in playsets? It's interesting. I hadn't really thought about it, but you do raise a point because, yeah, for the most part, playsets don't really have that. And if you think about it, it would be easy enough to add them. You just need a hole for the peg, right? But yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, I don't recall playsets other than the jump jetpack. Like the console on the landing pad has a peg for the backpack. That's the only one that comes to mind right now. Matt has a humpback whale in the Thames River. Yeah, I saw that headline too. So London's getting humpback whales. Green Yeti is getting penguins. The wildlife is flourishing. Hello, G.I. Go. G.I. Go. Nice to see you. I'll try to talk about some G.I. Joe. I can show you some stuff that I got in. I can show you some stuff I got in. There's something I can do as show and tell. That's fun sometimes. Don't ban the moderators or we ban you. I'll try to be careful. I'll be careful. Look, I don't want to get crossways with these guys. They go mad with power. Yeah, a whale in the Thames. Oh, so it was a nice penguin. Okay, all right, good. It's a nice penguin. So I'll give folks another minute or two to show up, and then we'll start the show with some show and tell. I got some G.I. Joe stuff, and I can show it to you because it won't spoil anything. Some of it will be used in upcoming reviews, but it's not the thing that is going to be reviewed. It's more of just a reference thing. So I can show these things to you without spoiling anything. So show and tell in a minute. Byron had 13 quail in his yard. I honestly have no idea what kind of wildlife is going on in my backyard. I've been so busy, I haven't seen my backyard for a while. I assume we've got squirrels, unless the dog ate them. We had rabbits sometimes, but the dog definitely ate one of those. Haven't gone mad with power yet. Well, thank you for containing yourself. And Carl says the hurricanes missed us. Well, congratulations. That's good. Jedi asks who's watched Retro Blasting's booster video. I have. And I shared that. I'm pretty sure I shared that on Facebook. I intended to. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So yeah, I've seen it. MCDJ ACDC is in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, in about 5 minutes, I'll do a show and tell. I'll show you the new Joe stuff that I got in that will not spoil any upcoming videos. Rob's dog almost yanked him off the porch lunching for rabbits. And dogs love rabbits. They love chasing them, and apparently they're tasty. Matt needs some fun distractions. Well, we're going to do our best, Matt. I'm sorry for your personal troubles, but hopefully we can offer you a small respite. Hey, comic book guy, nice to see you. I try to say hello to everyone when they come in, but sometimes I miss people, so I'm sorry if I miss you. Kaylee Matthew Commendador, I think I missed you, so hello. Hello. WWJD85 is here as well. So, yeah, all right. Couple more minutes, and we'll do a show and tell. And we can talk a little bit maybe about the most recent review that went up on Sunday. And then we can do the Find Your Fate book. And I'm definitely wrapping it up after an hour because dinner just got finished as I was going live. So I haven't eaten yet, so dinner has to wait until I'm done. So I'm going to be ready to murder some dinner as soon as we're done here. Rabbits are tasty. Yeah, no, like my dog, she caught one in the backyard, and I mean, at the first time I saw it, half of it was hanging out of her mouth, and then a few minutes later, it was just the back legs, and then shortly after, it was all gone. There was no trace of it. The dog was very happy, though. Hey, Cujo. Cujo is here. The West Coast contingent of G.I. Joeberg is in the house. Brandon, is that G.I. Joe cold beer holder helping? Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I've actually used it for that. So, yes, it's a nice addition. Thank you very much. And thank you for everything, Brandon. Brandon has helped the show in many ways. Matthew's in New York. Hello, New York from the United States. Doug is late. 5 demerits, Doug, and you have to sit in the corner now. Tardiness. Hello, John Carling. Hey, John Carling, I've seen some of the work that you've posted on Twitter recently, and it's really cool. Really nice stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, all right. I did. All right, well, that's a show and tell. This is new. It's recent, and I have to, put stuff on it. It's still got a lot of aftercare that's needed, but yeah, that's new. This is something that I had been intending to do for quite some time, and I don't want to make a big deal about it. It's not like I'm the first person to ever do this. Lots of people have done this, but yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's a thing that you'll see in future reviews, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to make a big deal about it. It's a thing. But mainly it's a thing that I had been intending to do for such a long time that I'm glad I finally did it. I waited way too long. I should have done it years ago, and I just put it off and put it off. Yeah, okay, so that's the show and tell. And the lines are pretty straight, although when my arm turns, the skin twists a bit, so but the lines are pretty good and nice and straight, so I was pretty happy with it. Yes, so basically that officially makes me a ninja. I'm in the ninja club automatically. Kaylee says Analog Toys is going to do a live stream sometime on Saturday. I thought it was 8 o'clock U.S. Eastern, which would be 7 o'clock here. I could be mistaken about that. I keep wanting to make it to his live streams, but I keep getting the times mixed up. I'm really going to try to make it this time. I'm a big fan of Tony Analog Toys. If you haven't checked out the Analog Toys YouTube channel, great stuff there, great stuff. But he's started doing some live streams, and I keep missing them, and I haven't to watch them on the replay. So anyway, let's do a G.I. Joe show and tell. I think it's time for that. One thing that I got recently is, as the bag says, mail away Duke. So yeah, it's Duke. It's a flimsy bag. Hold on, let me open the thing. And I mean, the hair on this figure looks a bit more like the carded Duke, but the more detailed hair, that may have come in like at the tail end of the mail away series. So, you know, mail away file card. I had that already. And it's got, hold on, it's got the accessories. It has the, if I can get them out, come on. It's got the helmet with no holes in the side. It's got the binoculars, submachine gun, and its backpack. The reason I got this particular figure, though, I'm sorry, I'm missing some of the live chat, so I'm sorry if I'm missing anything important. I'll try to catch up. The reason I got this, though, if I can keep it on, is that I had, and it does may have to reapply it a little bit. It's coming up a bit. It's old, you know, it's old. But I finally got one of these guys with the mail away flag sticker. Yeah, and it's like getting all. It's a flat sticker on a round surface, so it doesn't want to stick perfectly. But I may fix that. But anyway, finally, after all these years, I got the Duke with the mail away flag. Hey, there's What's on Joe Mind. Hello, WOJM. And What's on Joe Mind apologizes for being late. 5 demerits. Have to sit in the corner. Tardiness. But thank you for being here. I have been listening to What's on Joe Mind for so long that just the fact that that What's on Joe Mind shows up in my live streams is a trip, because I've been a fan of theirs for such a long time. So thank you for being here, and I sincerely mean that. It's an honor to have a podcast that I respect so much here in my live stream and having anything to do with my channel at all. And equally so with G.I. Joeberg, for whom Cujo is here representing. But it's a real privilege to me to be associated with so many fan creators that I have a lot of respect for. And in a lot of ways puts out a superior product than I do. But having worked on this channel for a few years now, I understand how much work goes into what you do, and I just have all the respect for it. My taste is questionable. I am drinking a Pepsi Cola out of a Billy Sims barbecue cup. Classy. Hollywood, California in the house. Greetings, Hollywood, from the United States. Comic Book Guy says, will you ever cover Mercer? Absolutely, yes. I just haven't decided if I'm going to cover Mercer, like, separately. I mean, it'll be separate, yeah. But if I want to do it, like, as a standalone review, or if I want to do it in a series of reviews of covering all of Sergeant Slaughter's Renegades. I have not decided yet. Thank you, Cujo, for the kickback. I will look for that check in the mail. And so yes. I'm sorry. I was just I got caught up looking at the live chat, and G.I. Joe Law is here. Hello, G.I. Joe Law. And I got distracted from my show and tell. I have things to show and to tell you about them. So, item number 1 was finally getting the Mail-Away Duke with the flag sticker, that annoying little flag sticker that I've, for many years, not bothered to acquire. Well, check that one off the list, so we're good on there. The other thing that I got from 1994 is the Scorpion. G.I. Joe vehicle. There was a color variation, like the light and the dark plastic pieces were swapped around, like the colors were swapped around on some of these. This is, as you may be aware, the biggest holes in my collection right now are probably in the area of 90s vehicles. This is sealed, but it's not going to stay that way. I got this for opening. And now, before you start, all right, if you object to me opening this and assembling it straight out of the vintage box, in my defense, I don't care, and I'm going to do it anyway. So there you go. So eventually there will be an unboxing and assembly video of this. So it's it looks cool. I mean, at first glance, it looks like a really interesting small vehicle from late in the line. But we'll just have to see. Also, I don't know which variation it is, if it's the light one or the dark one. So we'll have to find out when we open it and put it together. So that's my show and tell. That's the stuff that I got in recently. So those are things that, you'll see an opening, an unboxing, and assembly video for this soon, but it's not up for review right away. But I did want it for something else I'm reviewing, so yeah, that'll be opened, and we will put it together in a future video. And I think that's about it for the show and tell. I mean, I have other stuff around me, but it's stuff that it's mainly for other reviews, so I don't think I have anything else to show you. You may have seen the donation unboxing video recently. I do have all that stuff, and I was able to get through all that and organize it, and I'm trying to keep better track of who sends what, because I do want to thank you if I use it in a video. When I review it, I want to thank you for sending it. One of the things that I worry the most about is that I will not give proper credit to people who help out the channel, and I that's something that bothers me. I don't want people to feel shorted if I don't give them credit for the help that they give to the channel. So I'm really trying to do better about that. So things that you're sending in to me, I'm trying to make sure that they have your name associated with it in some way, so I can remember when I review that. I want to thank you for sending it to me. Hello, Riptide. Nice to see you. Welcome. So what about Rock and Roll version 2? Rock and Roll version 2 from 89 is not one that will be reviewed soon, and it's not because I don't like the figure. It's quite the opposite, actually. Rock and Roll version 2 was the last figure that I bought on the pegs, basically, back in '88. When I had already, kind of stopped collecting G.I. Joe. Checked the toy aisle one time just kind of on a lark and saw that there was a new version of Rock and Roll. And so I picked it up. I think it's the first figure I ever actually picked up purely for nostalgic reasons. And since I went through my toolbox that has all the parts from all my old figures, and since it looks like I had taken that figure apart, apparently I used it for some kind of a customization. But because that Rock and Roll figure was the last figure that I got, my plan is for it to be the final figure that will be reviewed on the channel. So when we're all done with 1982s or 1994, the final video will be Rock and Roll version 2. And the reason is because that's the bookend. The first review that I did was the first figure that I ever had, which is Breaker from 1982. So the bookends will be Breaker, Rock and Roll version 2. Personal biographical reasons. Yeah, that's the plan. Do I have a modern Breaker figure yet? I think I do. I got some modern figures, but I forget which ones are in there. But I believe there is a Breaker. I will have to double check. I don't review modern figures, so I don't have them out all the time. So I'm not, they're not. I'm not looking at them all the time, so I can't always remember what I have. But I believe I have a Breaker. 80% sure. Robbie says, regards from Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas. Wow, I butchered that, and I'm sorry. I'm from Oklahoma. You'll have to forgive me. But greetings from the United States, and welcome to the live stream. Matthew says, let him know if come to NYC, it'll get you Hamilton tickets. Well, that's a big get right there. But actually, Susan and I have been talking about travel recently, and New York City did come up. We would like to get out there. I think probably a higher priority right now is to get back to the UK and visit some friends over there. But New York is kind of high on the list, so that's something that we may try to do in the not too distant future. Byron had to fix his Breaker after he lost power. It's in Mexico. I figured it was. Oh, he has an exclusive connection to Hamilton. Perhaps a distant relative. But that's awesome. That's cool. I have seen Timur's Manimal reviews. Half the Battle on YouTube. Timur is in the midst of Monster Month, which he does every October. Because he's a lot better at doing videos, around holidays and things like that. I'm terrible at that. When I'm making up the schedule, I don't account for holidays. Sometimes I'll schedule a week off for a holiday. Hey, sometimes I do that. But, I figure people in the future will watch these videos out of order anyway, so I could do better, though. I could do better. People tend to like themed videos, so, I can do better. But Timur is doing better, so if you like Halloween stuff, Timur's got a whole Halloween thing going on this month. I'm a big fan of Timur. His sense of humor is on my wavelength. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but I find his stuff pretty funny. So most recently, I I guess you guys have seen the mobile battle bunker review. That was one that was voted on by patrons. That one won. I put the Swamp Masher up again, and it lost again. That thing just can't win. But I had a couple of people who liked the intro. So sofa cushions, as a bunker sort of thing. Plus, Susan just likes being in the videos. She had been wanting to be in one, and I wanted to get her in one, so she was gracious enough to help out. I have an idea for Susan to get into another video in the near future. I got an idea. I think it'll be good. We'll see. Mr. Commendador says, do you think you'll do some G.I. Joburg style G.I. Joe adventure videos after you do rock and roll? Oh, like Joburg style, yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's a possibility. And I'm still kicking around the idea of retiring after I complete the project. Because there have been some kind of opportunities that I haven't been able to take advantage of, and things like cosplay and customization and all these other ways to be a G.I. Joe fan that I just never seem to have time for. Well, I kind of like to have time to do those things. So it's I'm uncertain. Still undecided but it's still several years away. It's several years off. Lots of time to think about it. But yeah, it does intrigue me, the possibility of finding more ways to be a fan. But right now, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. So I'm going to charge ahead with making videos. And I kind of hope that it keeps going for a while. I know it's going to take us a long time to finish the string, right? It's going to take a while to get all of these toys reviewed. There's still quite a lot to go. But it's a finite set of things to review. Once it's done, it's done. So we will have to think about what's next after that. But again, years and years down the road. So it is the bottom half of the hour. And I believe it's time for Operation Thunderbolt. I don't think we've done this one yet. I tried to pick one that I don't think we've done. So we're going to give this a try. For those who haven't done this before, it's very simple. This is a Find Your Fate book. So at the bottom of certain pages, it gives you options. You get to choose what you do. It'll give you choices. And it'll tell you to turn to a certain page depending on what choice you make. And when we get to those pages, I will leave it up to you to decide which option we will choose. And the way you decide is I'll tell you what pages go with each option, and you just type in there in the live chat which page you choose. And I will very unscientifically decide which page gets the most votes, and then that's the one we go with. If it's really close, then if it looks like a tie, I will break the tie. But I gotta say, though, we've not had a good history with these. We die most of the time. And, sometimes we die because we're overly aggressive, right? We're like, we want the adventure, let's take the aggressive option, and then we die. There's other times we've tried to be cautious, right? We've held back. We tried to take the less risky option, and that's the one that ends up killing us. So, let's see how Operation Thunderbolt turns out. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Are we ready for story time? All right. Unfortunately, you have to suffer through my reading, which is a bit stuttery because I can't see as well as I used to, especially not in this light, but we will do our best, right? I'll show you the illustrations. Starting right here on page 1, we have an illustration. And that looks like the Joe's watching TV. And I think the guy in the middle is supposed to be you. The you that's in this story is the guy in the middle, and it looks like Shipwreck and Leatherneck with him. Okay? All right, we ready? Ready? Okay. Page 1. Hey, somebody should teach these guys to play football, yells Leatherneck. Don't they know this is the Super Bowl? This sounds familiar. Have we read this one? Doesn't matter. We'll make different choices. It might turn out differently this time. The recreation room aboard the USS Flag buzzes with football talk as the men watch the big game being televised from New Orleans. Yeah, we have read this before. We have. It's okay. One great thing about the Find Your Fates books, we can do it again, and the outcome may be different. Let's see. Super Bowl is about the most exciting thing that's happened since you came aboard the giant G.I. Joe aircraft carrier as a new member of the Joe team. Bet you next week's salary that your team doesn't score again, Shipwreck goads Leatherneck. You're on, Seaweed Breath, growls Leatherneck. Get your wallet ready. Suddenly, all eyes are riveted on the TV set. A huge bolt of lightning has struck the 50-yard line. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember that in any of the Super Bowl highlight reels. You'd think that NFL Films would have mentioned that. See, blah blah blah. In seconds, the electricity crackles along the electrical wires around the stadium. The screams of the panicked crowd are heard over the air as the sportscaster nervously describes the scene. A strange bolt of electricity is traveling through the stand. Kaboom! There's a huge explosion and your TV set goes black. What's going on? Turning to page 2. Suddenly, the PA system of the rec room crackles with a message from Duke. All personnel with X-15 military clearance report to the briefing room. Situation critical. You, Shipwreck, and Leatherneck run toward the briefing room. Never a dull moment around here, Leatherneck mutters. When you reach the briefing room, Hawk, the G.I. Joe commander, has already begun his briefing. Well, you ran there, but they started early. He interrupts himself to introduce you to the members of the squad. Duke, the G.I. Joe team's top sergeant. Roadblock, heavy weapons specialist. Recondo, a jungle infantryman. Lowlight, a night spotter. Cutter, operator of the hovercraft. Deep Six, a diver. And, of course, you already know Shipwreck and Leatherneck. Men, Hawk says, turning to you, I'd like to introduce the newest member of our team. This is Zapper, a whiz with electronics. So apparently that's our code name. Our code name is Zapper. That's a dumb code name. Did I say that last time I read this? Because I don't like that code name. Zapper. It's too much like the Clapper. Introductions complete. Hawk turns to a large map of the United States. Using a heavy marker, he circles some major cities around the country. Fantastic, Leatherneck whispers to you sarcastically. Just what I wanted, a geography lesson. You give him a half-hearted grin. You've noticed that Hawk has just circled the city of New Orleans. Go to page 3. We have a very important mission. Man, we don't even have an option yet, even on page 3. We have a very important mission here, Hawk explains. The areas I've circled represent strategic locations that have somehow been hit by a gleaming flash of light from the sky, resembling a bolt of lightning which caused an explosion. I wonder if they're all NFL cities. Maybe they're just attacking football. Have they ever thought of that? As the other members of the G.I. Joe team stir, Hawk continues. According to the intelligence, we were able to detect that the last strike, the one that hit New Orleans, came from one of our biggest communications satellites. Hey, that's probably what knocked out the Super Bowl, Leatherneck shouts. Well, what do you know? Hawk offers. There's a brain hiding in all that muscle. Hawk waits for the laughter to die down. That was hilarious. Hilarious. Before he continues with the briefing. Fortunately, we were able to pinpoint the satellite's last position. It seems that it was given its command from an oil rig just offshore from a suspected Cobra base. Hawk shuts the light off, lowers the screen, and begins showing slides of the oil rig from different angles. We sent a small recon patrol to the rig, and they discovered sophisticated electronic systems housed on it. It's possible that those systems are capable of controlling our communications satellite. If so, Cobra can attack anywhere in the world. Page 4. Okay, at the bottom of page 4, we have some options. So get your keyboards ready. Get your keyboards ready. All right, here it comes. Let's go in and blow that rig sky high, shouts Roadblock. I have a better idea, Hawk announces. I've decided on a two-prong attack. The first part of my plan involves searching out Cobra headquarters near the rig. We think there is a base of operations other than the rig, and Duke, I want you to lead a team inland through the jungle to find it. Take Lowlight, Roadblock, and Leatherneck with you. The second part of my plan calls for infiltrating the rig. I want to make sure that its operations are shut down and no harm can come to our satellites or any cities before we take out that rig. Cutter, Deep Six, Recondo, and Shipwreck. I want you to form the team that heads for the rig. What do you think Cobra is trying to do, you ask? My hunch is that they're testing out some new system, and when they've perfected it, Cobra will try for global domination. They tested it out on the Super Bowl. That was a dry run, apparently. Let's see. Well, it's our job to stop them, you shout. Then you realize you haven't been given any assignment. Where should I go, sir, you ask? Your know-how will be useful on either mission, Hawk answers. Got a preference. Okay, so we're going to choose which one we go on. You can either go with Duke on the jungle assault, that's page 10, or infiltrate the oil rig, page 21. Your options are 10, go with Duke on the jungle assault, or 21, infiltrate the oil rig. Type your answers now, and let's see. Once again, that's 10, jungle assault, 21, oil rig. Lots of 21s. Lots of 21s. Oh, tons of 21s. Okay. I don't think 10 can catch up at this point. It looks like the answer is 21. Here we go. 21. Turning to page 21. Professor Grandpa turns to page 21. Here we go. Page 20. Oh, and yeah, we get another option at the bottom of this page. Okay, cool. Since Hawk told you intelligence found sophisticated electronic devices on the rig, you can't wait to get at them. You decide to join the naval team. Hawk summons the G.I. Joe team to assemble near the Flash communications tower. I've decided that the best way to reach the rig is by using the G.I. Joe hovercraft and our flying submarine, the Shark. I want the hovercraft to make a direct attack on the rig. We suspect that Cobra probably programmed the satellites to blow up the world's major cities at the slightest attempt to foil their plans, so our assault should be swift and decisive. As the hovercraft is fueled for assault, Hawk motions toward the Shark. I want Deep Six to take one other man on the Shark. Deep Six take one other man? Okay. You'll have to dive under the rig and gain control of the computer weaponry before Cobra can respond. That's all, man. Good hunting, and remember to keep in communication with us. What'll it be, Zapper? Do you want to go with Deep Six on the Shark? Or do you want to join Cutter, Recondo, and Shipwreck on the hovercraft? Okay, so the more options. For the Shark, select page 5. For the hovercraft, the whale, the killer whale, page 33. Shark, page 5. Hovercraft, page 33. So make your selections. Type 5 for Shark. Type 33 for hovercraft. I saw some 5s, seen lots of 33s, seen a few more 5s. I think people just like the whale better. They're just picking their favorite vehicle. Alright, yeah. All right, looks like 33-1. Okay, all right. The hovercraft won. We got a few more sharks at the end, but it looks like the hovercraft won. Now, I was curious how they were going to fit a second person in the shark. As you know, the only way to do that is to take the torpedoes off and peg a figure on there. Otherwise, you don't fit anybody other than Deep Six in that cockpit. So, but we're not going to explore that today. Plenty of room in the Whale. So for the hovercraft, we turn page 33. 33. Are we all having fun? Is everybody having a good time? Good. Okay, page 33. You decide you'd love to get on the hovercraft and see how it works. You ascend the flight deck where the hovercraft, called the Whale for short, is being readied. You'll be joining Cutter, Shipwreck, and Recondo on the mission. Welcome to the Navy, boys, yells Shipwreck as you climb onto the hovercraft. Soon a ramp is lowered from the flight deck, and the Whale makes its way down to the ocean. Now, really, Cutter's Coast Guardsman, not really Navy, but Shipwreck, Shipwreck just takes over everything. You cruise over the waves for almost an hour before you hear the Whale's engines slow. There she blows, man, shouts Cutter. Looking ahead, you see the Cobra oil rig in the far horizon. Cutter gathers the team to go over the plans. Right now, we're outside Cobra's radar detectors. I'd like to send Recondo out in the Devilfish. Ooh, we get to go in the Devilfish. How'd they get the Devilfish in the Killer Whale? I mean, there's a lot of room there, but not enough for the Devilfish. We'll skip that. Before we bring the Whale. Okay, it's too small to be detected on radar. Recondo, I want you to look around that oil rig and see what you can find out. Zapper, we'll need you to pull the plug on their electronics. You can either go with Recondo now in the Devilfish, or wait back here until he returns with the info. Which will it be? So we got some more options. Go with Recondo in the Devilfish, page 74. Remain in the hovercraft until Recondo returns, 58. So if you want to go with Recondo on the Devilfish, type 74. If you want to remain in the hovercraft until Recondo returns, 58. 74, 58. 74, 58. We have... Ooh, that's closer. It looked like 74 was pulling away, but we got some 58s. What's on Joe Mine is disqualified. There is no 116. Is there a 116? There is no page 116. 202 either. I'm going to say 74 wins just barely. That was closer. So we'll go to 74. We just want to ride on the Devilfish, right? That's what we're doing, right? We're just having fun. Hello, Dustin. Didn't see you come in. Hello. Thanks for being here. We're going for a ride on the Devilfish is what we're doing. 74. And we have another illustration. And this is a nice illustration of Recondo checking out our backside. Man, he is drinking that all in, isn't he? Getting himself a good view. Like, oh yeah. There you go. All right, page 74. Since all those electronics may be on the rig, you say to Cutter, the mission has a better chance of succeeding if I go with Recondo. The tiny motorboat is lowered from the Whale. Lowered from the Whale? Forget it. Let's not get hung up on those things. You motor toward the... Sorry. It made me think of something. I can't say that. The video will be demonetized. We got to keep moving. Toward the looming Cobra oil rig. In about 5 minutes, you hear a terrible explosion. Your boat lurches wildly in the waves. Looking behind you, you see the Whale has come under attack from Cobra Rattler jets. Uh-oh. Recondo and you stare at the flaming hovercraft in silent horror. Oh my god, they blew up They killed Shipwreck and Cutter. It's flaming wreckage and silent horror. Finally, Recondo speaks. There's nothing we can do for those guys now because they're dead. It's a good thing we didn't stay there. Recondo clutches his M16. The two of you continue to head toward the oil rig. The rising cloud of smoke from the whale has distracted the Cobras on the rig, giving you the chance to tie your small motorboat up to the side of the rig without being noticed. After climbing a steel ladder up to a trap door on the bottom of the rig, you use your expertise to spring the electronic lock that stands between you and the interior of the rig. Good going, Recondo congratulates you. That's just the first step, you reply. Now, let's find the controls for those satellites and see if we can short-circuit Cobra's pilot. Shipwreck and Cutter are dead. Shipwreck and Cutter are dead. But it's a good thing we chose to go on the Devilfish, otherwise we would be dead too. So we got a body count in this story. This children's book. Oh, what page? We got to go to what page? I missed it. 47. Page 47. 47. To continue this storyline. Okay, here we go. As you make your way down the narrow hallway, you're surprised by the lack of Cobra guards. Where the heck is everyone? Recondo asks. I don't know, you answer. They must think they blasted the entire G.I. Joe team out of the water when they hit the whale. You approach a small door with a circular window. Quickly, you drop down to the floor, pulling Recondo with you. What's wrong? Asks Recondo. You motion toward the window and say, behind that window is the Cobra Communications Center. So, let's go in, Recondo says. You grab his arm and say, not so fast, unless you want to be served up to the Cobras on a silver platter. What do you mean? Come here, you say as you quickly crack open the door. Take a gander at that. Recondo stares inside, and you look over his shoulder. In front of a large console, Cobra Commander is talking to his troops. It's just a matter of minutes, my friends. The reprogramming of the satellites will be completed, he proudly states, thanks to our good friend here. That good friend turns around, and it's Destro. We have Cobra Commander and Destro in the same room right now. Man, one grenade, war is over. But let's see what happens. We have to turn to page what? Turn to page 18. 18. Going back. Not that far back. Okay, so still no choices yet after the end of page 18, but let's see. Thank you for your kind words, Commander, says the arms supplier Destro, but if you hadn't intercepted the G.I. Joe hovercraft, I'm afraid our mission would have failed. Blowing that ship out of the water made my day, Cobra Commander chuckles. And when I pull this detonating switch in 10 minutes, the party will really begin. You let the door close and say to Recondo, I don't think we have a shot at overpowering them, but by the looks of the control panel, I might be able to put the fix on their system from an outside source. You lead Recondo into a shaftway that runs down the Cobra Communications Center. Looking down, you see a Cobra guard patrolling an area in front of a box labeled Auxiliary Power. We've got to get by him, you whisper. Leave it to me, Recondo replies. He silently lowers himself from the shaftway. Standing in the shadows, Recondo calls out, Hey, pal, got a light? The Cobra guard walks over to him, saying, You know you're not supposed to smoke. Recondo leaps. We do not get options. Let's see. With the Cobra guard out of action, you drop out of the shaftway and head over to the auxiliary power board. Rewiring the system takes all your speed, skill, and concentration. When you've completed the job, you and Recondo race down the hallway. Quickly, you get off the rig and speed away in the Devilfish. You look at your watch. I think you're going to like this, Recondo, you say. Like what? He says. When Cobra Commander hits the switch, my rewiring will trigger an explosion on the rig that will make you think of the 4th of July. Seconds later, the rig begins to tremble. Then it blows sky high. This is definitely one mission that has been a real blast. The end. We won! We won! Look, there's the illustration. We just blew up. We just killed Cobra Commander and Destro. How about that? For once, we actually won one of these things. We didn't die. Not only... Okay, all right, Shipwreck and Cutter died. That's sad. But, hey, we took out Cobra Commander and Destro on that oil rig. They didn't get away. You saw how big that exploded. Look at this. Hold on. That's that whole oil rig blown to pieces. They didn't survive that. No, they did not. So there we go. So, guys, congratulations. Finally, a successful mission. I commend you. And hey, perfect timing because we got like 4 minutes to go in the live stream. So, thank you, everyone. I hope that that was entertaining to you. Sorry about my stuttering while I was reading, but that's just how I do it. But, yeah, well done. Well done. Cutter was a Red Sox fan. He deserved to die. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. So, yeah. Now, I don't know necessarily if these books are canon, but perhaps they should be. So I think in all future G.I. Joe media, Shipwreck and Cutter, gone, dead. Yeah, thanks for everyone for being here, and thanks for indulging me in the Find Your Fate books. These are fun. And we've definitely done that one before. I know we've done that one before. But last time we died. I remember that. Last time we died. This time we basically defeated Cobra. I mean, Cobra, the Cobra command structure is deceased now. Brandon Knight, we are the champions, my friends. That's right. So it is about time for me to wrap up here. I do need to eat dinner before I fall over. I got to get some food in my body, so I will do that. But I do want to thank everyone for showing up. We will be doing this again next week. I forgot to say, there is a video coming tomorrow. I finally got a comic book review done, so there's a video coming tomorrow. So watch for that. And then the next review should be up at the regular time. So we're rolling. We're rolling. But thanks, everyone. I am going to I'm going to let you all go, and I will see you all next week. So thanks again, and congratulations for surviving the Find Your Fate book. And I will see you next week. So for now, though, I will push this little button here that will turn this thing off. So good night. Bye-bye.